Paradise World videos. We're down in La Mata on the Costa Blanca and a big drop in temperature, 20 degrees today, but we're going to be back up to 23 and 24, and today we're going to be talking about what's happened since Brexit. It's been 8 years and the 52% of the 48% vote to leave. So yeah, we're going to be discussing everything that's been affected by the Spanish and of course the UK. So June 2016, it was when it all happened, yeah. The Brexit, the B for Britain and the exit, officially known as Brexit, and a lot of people were regretting the decision. Of course, for the people, the expats living here in Spain, it's not really affected too much, apart from the pensioners that all shot back home straight after this Brexit decision, because a lot of them couldn't be bothered with the residential. They've been here for years. But apart from the housing market slowing down during Brexit, for Boris to get the deal done, it all slowed the housing market down. And yeah, we did get 16 million Brits a year coming to Spain prior to Brexit. But yeah, what's happened since? And what effects has it happened on the people coming to Spain? Of course, next year we've got one of the effects happening, and we've got this ETS, which you've got to apply for the permit, the 3-year permit for €7, gives you entry to 30 European countries. So it's not just Spain, you need this ETS, but you need to apply, and of course you need a clean criminal record. So a lot of people thought by voting for Brexit, we're going to see a big change in immigration. We're going to see a lot of the people that are coming over to Britain on a free house basis and benefits and straight into the health system, and there'd be a lot more jobs for our people, and we're all going to be better off with money. And yeah, UK will be UK, and we'll be back deciding our own laws, and everything's going to be rosy. But yeah, so we're going to go through what's really happened, because a lot of people you speak to now are saying, well, I didn't realise that was going to happen, and I never thought by voting Brexit, you know, we're going to have to pay for all these extra things. Of course, one of the big things that's affected is the duty free, because when you did come to Spain, you did have a real great unlimited amount of cigarettes you could buy, and wine and spirits. But yeah, that's all changed. Before we talk about the effect on the import tax, we're going to let you know what has changed, because still a lot of people are not aware of what you can bring back from Spain since we've left Brexit. And yeah, it's a big difference actually. I mean, you'll add 42 litres of beer or 18 litres of wine, but the main one of course is the cigarettes. That's the big effect, because people were bringing unlimited as long as it was for your own benefit. So yeah, that's changed a lot, because it's only 200 cigarettes now. Yeah, 200. You knew people bringing back thousands and reselling them, making a few quid, paying for their little trip over to Spain. So 200 cigarettes only, or you could have 100 cigars or whatever you want, or 250 grams worth of tobacco. So yeah, it's not great, is it, eh? The old duty free's gone straight out the window. So another big effect is the import tax. Of course, now we're getting charged for import tax. So yeah, some people it's affected as also here in Spain, because we start receiving things from Britain. You've got to pay the import tax, and the other way around. So yeah, the import tax is a little bit of a killer now. So yeah, before there weren't anything to worry about. But yeah, a lot of things did change straight after Brexit, and one of the things did notice, everyone sort of disappeared. All the bars was like banging out, and people everywhere, and everyone was a builder and bricklayer. There was like, you know, there weren't much work about, because all the people were overstaying. Of course, now it's all changed, isn't it, eh? You've got to stay within the guidelines. There's no free movement anymore. Yeah, 90 days within 180 days. Well, the rule has always been there if you was more than that 1 day over 183 days in a calendar year. But of course, a lot of them turned a blind eye, because we was in Europe, and they weren't really enforcing it. But since Britain left the old bloc, they're really stepping down. So lost all the rights of being able to work in Spain and all the free movement, as we're now non-EU citizens. So yeah, a lot has changed. Like I said, we're going to have to start getting all these permits now to enter, because we're not in the EU, and of course all the checks will be applied. So if you've got a criminal record or anything like that, you might not even be able to come to any European country, let alone Spain. So if you want to come down on the Costa Blanca and see all these beautiful landmarks, of course La Mata is very popular for the Brits and of course the Spanish, and yeah, good climate all year round. So yeah, if you want to keep coming to Spain, you've got to blame Brexit to stop all the free movement, because it's the one who voted that regret all their decisions because they said they didn't know what was going to happen. Also, lots happened now, isn't it, eh? Because now if you want to work or live in Spain, you've got to go by the rules. And of course the rules are, you'll need a TIE card, and which is your fingerprint, your identity card, which all Spanish people have. And for your first 5 years, when you become a resident, it's temporary. And then after that, the next one will become 10 years residency. And of course, you can still go backwards to the UK. You haven't lost your UK because you're only a temporary resident, but it gives you access and free movement all around. So that is one benefit when becoming a Spanish temporary resident. You need to get an NIE number, because everything's NIE number out here, which that card has got to be applied 30 days before you even arrive in Spain. But yeah, a lot involved if you want to come out in Spain, and you've got to have a lot more money than before, as all the requirements have gone right up. Retirement to Spain or living in Spain is still possible, but yeah, you've got to earn a different amount of money now to what it was before, and it's a lot harder and a lot trickier. And of course, if you want to live the dream, you've got to do it, ain't you? Before it wasn't a lot, like I say, it was just over 5,500 euros a year, and now they're looking at 27,792 euros a year you've got to have in your bank. And yeah, they do want to see proof as well, and they want to see the money in your bank account. And yeah, they will look at their statements going back 6 to 12 months, and they will check everything out, what kind of pensions you're on and income, just to make sure that you can afford to live in Spain, because they don't want you coming here pouncing off the system. It's not UK, you know, you just turn up and get everything paid for. Oh no. And of course, if you want to work over here, it's a lot different to the UK, because as you know, in the UK, when you're self-employed, I mentioned loads of times, you return your taxes every year. I mean, you're looking at average 400 euros a month you pay. Okay, when you pay it into the system, that gives you and your spouse, and it covers your health insurance as well as being legal. And then after that, if you're earning over the tax bracket, which is 12,000 a year, of course you'll be paying tax on that. And like any other country really, if you've overpaid and you're not earning the money, you might be lucky enough to get a little rebate. But yeah, other than that, if you're not working and you're coming out to Spain, you've got to pay for your own healthcare. As mentioned, there's different health cares you can pay for, but Spain does like you to require one of the top health cares that will cover a lot of the main things. So unless you're a pensioner age, in this case you'll apply for an S1 form, and your health care will already be paid for by the government. That was one of the deals when leaving the EU. All different types of visas, like I mentioned. Of course, they had the golden visa, but that was for the super rich. That's now being scrubbed. I did mention that in a previous video. But you've got the nomad and the digital visas, which a lot of people are applying for. So it's not actually difficult to apply for one of these visas. It can take, some cases, up to a couple of months. So, but yeah, it's best to get a specialist person, a lawyer, a Spanish person even, to do this, because they will know the process and they'll be able to fast track everything that needs to be done. But yeah, since we've left the EU, of course, like I mentioned, a lot of people darted back because there was uncertain of what was going to happen, and yeah, it did quieten down. Of course, now there's loads of work about and there's just no staff. Even in the summer months, a lot of these Spanish bars were short of staff because there was no one there to take up the jobs. Oh, leaving the EU, we couldn't carry on working, and of course you couldn't study in Spain. Of course the taxation is different, and you're driving, you couldn't just come and drive, and yeah, we've had to sort all that out. You've got your healthcare problems, so a lot have changed. So now when you become a resident in Spain, you've got to get your driving licence changed over into a Spanish one, because they won't let you drive around on a UK driving licence. And in some cases you may have to take a little test to get your driving licence. Test or nothing, you just go to one of these health centres and they do a little eye test and just check your eyesight's good. And yeah, it doesn't cost a lot to have this test done, but the whole process could cost you around 200, 250 to get your driving licence exchanged, and then they send it away. Of course you can't drive because you won't have a driving licence in this period. It doesn't take very long. I think we got ours back in about 4 weeks. It all gets sent back to Swansea and whatever and gets sorted out. But you've got special places out in Spain that do all this kind of work for you. Boris Johnson tried to rush it all through, didn't he? Tried to get Brexit done. It lingered and lingered. You had Thatcher, they booted her out, and then you had the other one, Truss. She lasted 5 minutes, and then we got Boris in, and it still weren't sorted properly. As you know, over here we've got an Iceland's overseas supermarket, and of course since Brexit the cost of everything's just shot up, because you're actually paying a little bit more tax on your goods, as well as paying more for your English products. Hence why a lot of people out in Spain tend to live Spanish and stick to the supermarkets and get used to the food. Like I say, the Coca-Cola was the main one. It took a couple of weeks, tastes exactly the same. You've got your fruit and veg, everyone goes to the market. So, and then of course, a lot healthier eating, isn't it? You've got your Mediterranean style food, you've got the lovely warm climate. So yeah, for the people living in Spain, it hasn't really affected a lot of us really. It's just people coming to Spain. It's caused a lot more permits need to be required and overstaying, because they're saying now people coming to Spain, they need to have proof of where they're staying. If they're staying at a friend's house, hotel, you can't just turn up here and they think you're going to live on the streets. No, there is another law they did bring out, and you've got to have a actual proof of a return ticket as well back to the UK. Hence before, people used to turn up here for a week's holiday and go back a year later. Exactly what happened after Brexit. They all had to go back. Of course, you've got a few hiding under the cracks, under the radar, keep their nose clean, which of course doing no harm. But yeah, majority of them had to go back, I'm afraid, because if you do overstay and you do go back and they realise that you've overstayed your welcome and you've only been here for your correct amount of days now, they get to the airport and they see you've overstayed. What they'll do is they'll either fine you and refuse your entry. So yeah, a lot of people cannot go back, I'm afraid. If you've overstayed and you don't want to end up being stuck in England and you want to return to Spain, it's not possible. So yeah, that's one big thing on the under the radar people, because a few people were nipping back for their little medical treatment and the doctors, because out here, of course, if you're under the radar, you're not able to go to the hospitals because you're going to have to pay for private, which costs a lot of money. So yeah, a lot of them nip on a cheap little plane back and get treated in England and come back. Well, it's not the case, is it? Because you'll be flagged up in the airport. That's why they've got all these new permits coming in. It'll be flagged up straight away on the system. And of course, when you're coming in and out now, they stamp your passport. But if you're a temporary resident or resident, you show your ID card, your TIE, your card, and they won't stamp your passport because they know that you're here. But yeah, you get your card, your passport stamped, and they know when you're in and out. Of course, there's no nipping backwards and forwards now. Look at these waves today, well choppy, isn't it? So yeah, Olamata. It's a nice little place, Olamata, really. It's quiet. It's not as busy as Torrevieja. And as you go along here, you do find this beach though always very choppy. I have noticed that whenever I come in the summer, it can be very, very choppy along here. But you've got your bars and restaurants. A lot of them shut down during the summer months, have a little break. But you do get the ones open all year round. This is November, of course, and thank goodness all these storm darners and gotter-freers are now all blown away. The last severe one we just had was in Malaga, and yeah, they got it really, really bad. But this time the government did send a warning out in time and told everyone to get high up in flats. Some people even wrapped their cars up with shrink wrap and tied it to posts so they wouldn't get taken down the river when it all got flooded. because yeah, a lot of people in Malaga, Costa del Sol, Andalusia, yeah, got a batter in the last few days. Yeah, it's not known to have this many gota frias in a short space of time. So yeah, everything's going to be back to normal when the sun's going to be out. This is the last day of a bit of overcast. To round it off, really, what has really happened here in Spain since Brexit, during Brexit, it did quieten down the housing market. A lot of people were moving back, like I say, because of the uncertainty. And all the Brits were not coming to Spain. Well, it's all swung back round again, because Brits are not the main people coming out. There might be the high population of people, but now it's all mixed. We've got the Belgians buying up mad over here. They're the ones pushing all the property prices up. The Belgians, the Germans, the Scandinavians, the Norwegians, Swedish. We've got all these different countries, and they're just snapping the property up, and it's kept the property boom going. And of course now Spain's getting record visitors more than ever. So yeah, things have really changed against Brexit. But the only thing that's changed for the UK that's coming really is all this, like I say, all this bureaucracy and work, and all this duty free, and of course the property, because if you bought property before in Spain, it's changed, isn't it, eh? The old property tax has gone right up. I mean, if you don't live in Spain and you rent your property out, yeah, you're going to be paying 24% rental tax. So yeah, that is a lot more than what it was before. If you've got your non-resident tax, you already pay for the banks. It's around about €40 a quarter. So yeah, you don't get free banking, you've got to pay that out. So yeah, pretty expensive, isn't it? Yeah, it did affect the whole GDP in old Britain, and the whole exports plunged from 41%. and the import 29%. So yeah, it made a massive impact, and yeah, still ain't showing much of recovery yet. Back in 2018, our UK, believe it or not, was the 5th highest nominal GDP in the world. So yeah, that is absolutely madness, isn't it? And now we've slid right down the old ladder. Also, it was the 2nd largest in Europe. Not to forget, before the UK left in 2016, they were paying 19.4 billion euros. So yeah, it weren't a couple of shillings, was it? Big promise was that we're going to be better off because we're going to invest all the money we're saving into the healthcare, and everyone's going to be super duper rich, get good quick appointments and get treatment with the healthcare, and all the boats will stop coming. In fact, the boats are up by a 5th every year. The healthcare never got the promises it was, and all fed on a load of lies basically. And of course the money that the government were paying to the EU was actually benefiting the normal people in Britain that were going into Europe and getting all the discount rates on the phones and on the old flights. You didn't have to pay all these taxes, and of course all the duty-free import taxes, never had to worry about anything like that. So the government have now saved a load of money because the individual people are going to have to pay for the benefits themselves. And I think everyone's just cottoned on. They never got what they promised, because we all know at the end of the day it was an immigration vote more than anything. It wasn't so much about, oh, we're going to be better off and the whole world's going to change and everyone's going to be going home. It was all about immigration, and of course they've never sorted it out, have they? Because the old France and all the other countries have just let them sail by on their dinghies. Of course, every day they're washing up on Spain. There's loads coming along the Costa Blanca, they're coming in from Murcia, La Manga, we've had them up on Cartagena recently. So yeah, they're coming across by the boatloads. Of course, when we left the EU, they said everyone else was going to start following. In fact, no one else has left. It was only us that went. But yeah, you can still have the chat. It never ends, does it? The old Brexit subject comes up every day, and you've got the people that go, yeah, it was really bad decisions. And then you've got the people that wanted to leave are still sticking to their guns and saying over time we're going to be better off. But at the moment, Brexit is really shrunk the old GDP in old Britain. And at the time, before we actually left, as you know, house prices were booming, the economy was booming like hell, and everyone was out there singing and dancing. And then old Mr. Cameron at the time was forced to make this big decision on Brexit, really confident no one's going to actually vote to leave. Of course, the shock happened, didn't it? 52% to 48, which was really a close call, considering a lot of it was done on lies. So yeah, you let me know what you think about today's Brexit conversation below. Did you vote to remain or did you vote to leave? As an expat living in Spain now almost 10 years, the only thing I've actually seen a little increase on over the time is all the menus of the day. They were €5.9, €9.6, €9.9. Yeah, they're shotting up now. I think the cheapest we can get a menu of the day is €9.99. Of course, we'll give you a starter, main, dessert. We'll give you tea, coffee, glass of wine or a small beer. But in general now, you're looking for a menu of the day for a Chinese or Indian, you're averaging around 14 to 15 euros. So yeah, that's the only thing I've seen shot up. Apart from the petrol prices, as you know, World War are all kicking off out there under the Ukraine and the Russians. So yeah, the petrol prices cannot control, I suppose. But yeah, that's the only thing I've changed. Let me know what you think of Brexit down in the comments. Was you a Remainer or was you a Leave? And let me know if it was a good idea. I mean, as a person living in Spain, does not affect us really. It's only the Brits coming over.